Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Mandy, and I am the admissions advisor for Eastern Washington University for all of Spokane County. So when you guys are applying or you have questions about your application, I'm going to be your go-to contact person. Questions about your scholarships or how you figure out what your financial aid is, all of that kind of stuff. I'm your point person. I wish I could be at your school, and I'm sure you guys also wish you could be at school, but we do what we can. So I'm going to share my screen and kind of just go through what we call it a lookbook, which is usually you get a pamphlet from us or like our shiny book. This is kind of what we're doing this year since we can't send a bunch of stuff to you guys. So I'm going to start with just Eastern in general. So Eastern is located in Cheney, Washington, as I'm sure most of you know. It's about 20 minutes from downtown Spokane. Our student population is around a little over 12,000 students, which actually makes up more than the residents of Cheney, because Cheney is very small. It's very much a college town. It is, I think they have like 7,000 to 10,000 people that live there, but it's a very rural area. So you can walk a lot of places. There's so many students on campus. You'll see faculty, staff, alumni, current students, all sorts of different stuff at all of the sporting events and things like that. It's a very tight-knit community. So Eastern is the most affordable four-year university in the state of Washington. Our tuition sits right around $7,000, a little bit more, and you can kind of see like how it goes up and what you're looking at. So this is your tuition and fees, and this was from this year. Well, it's from 2019 to 2020. So of course, the prices change a little bit every year. Some students aren't living on campus, so that changes. This is just your tuition and fees. So since you are living in the Spokane area, you are able to fill out a waiver and not live on campus. So you are able to live at home if you want to not live in the dorms or anything. So that can save you a lot of money. So Eastern becomes really affordable for a lot of people. We give away automatic scholarships, which are anywhere between it's like either $1,000, $2,000, or $3,000 off. And that's every year you're at Eastern. So it can make your tuition almost similar to what you would pay at a community college. So it's always good to kind of check that out. We actually have a scholarship calculator that you can go to. So it's called our freshman scholarship calculator. You put in what your GPA is, and then it kicks out what your scholarship would be. We also have a scholarship application. So that application opens up in November. And what it is it's one scholarship or one application for all the scholarships we offer that you qualify for. So it's just puts you into a pool and then divvies it out like to all the ones that you would qualify for, which is really nice because then you don't have to fill out a bunch of them. So we give away probably, I think it's right around $8 million in scholarships every year. So it definitely, like I said, it makes it very, very affordable. So when you're looking at programs that's the whole reason why we go to college, right? Is we are looking to get a degree. Something that I always tell students that I talk to is pick a career, don't pick a degree. Because realistically, you're using that degree to get a career in the end, right? So you want to make sure that you are having the degree that's going to get you into the career you're looking for. A lot of the times we obviously know. So if you're going to go into nursing, probably going to be a nurse, right? If you're going to get a bachelor's degree in teaching, most likely going to be a teacher. That kind of makes sense, right? But what if you want to be, I don't even know, an accountant or a manager at a resort or something like that, like just something that you're like, is that a degree? I don't know how to work that. Or you want to design ski mountains, something like that. So the best way to figure that out, in my opinion, is going and talking to our career counseling. Our career center is amazing. They're going to help you with applications to jobs. They'll help you with your resume. They'll help you work backwards. So like I said, you're like, this is the job I'm kind of thinking I want to do. What kind of degree do I need to do to be successful in that career area? Or if you're like, I have no idea what I want to do. So a lot of students go into college and they're like, yeah, I totally know what I want to do. No, you probably don't. You're probably going to change your mind 2 to 3 times. I know when I started college, I was like, okay, let's just start. Get this going. My mom was a teacher, so I was like, oh, I could be a teacher. And I'm like, and I was like, summer's off. I'm with it. I'm like, that sounds lovely. And then my two older brothers had kids, and I was like, I'm not with it. I'm not with it at all. I'm like, this is tough. I'm like, these are hurting cats. I'm like, I don't know if I can do it. And so then I was like, okay, back to square one. And one of my favorite parts about college is you have the opportunity and the requirement to take a bunch of general education classes. So that's similar to like kind of what you're required to take in high school. Like you're going to have to take natural science, and you're going to have to take social science and humanities and math and English. But we have such a vast amount of courses that fall into those categories that work for your general education. It makes it really easy to kind of figure out what you're passionate about and try a bunch of stuff out. It's where people either decide, yeah, nursing is for me, or yeah, biology is for me, or no, teaching is not for me. This was a mistake. I need to try something else. So for me, after I was like, oh, teaching seems not a good fit for me and my personality, I started taking other classes. So I signed up for an anthropology class thinking that it was the study of bugs, which apparently is a very common thing, obviously. And so I was like, cool, ant farms, poke bugs, catch them outside, awesome. And then they started talking about humans and evolution and things. And I was like, I feel like I'm in the wrong class. And then found out I wasn't. Ended up being super interested in it, really loved the subject, really loved the options of where I could go with a career, with a degree in that. And so I ended up getting my bachelor's in anthropology, and then I also have my master's in critical GIS and public anthropology. So GIS is a geographical information system. It's something that you use on your computer for mapping. But I am Eastern alum. But I also started out at a community college because I just wasn't really sure. And I came from out of state. So I took a year off. I took a gap year, which is a choice that you really need to think about making and know whether going back to school is going to be super hard or super easy. So we are, if you're interested in biology, we're one of 3 schools in the nation that has a research facility on a wildlife refuge, which is Turnbull. So that degree, like the environmental science, even a little bit of the geology programs, a lot of the biology programs, you get to take classes at the wildlife refuge. You get to really be hands-on, which is a really important part of getting your degree. So you have that professional experience and you like have that hands-on, so you know what you're getting into when you graduate. We also are the only school in the state of Washington that has a bachelor's degree in dental hygiene. So if you are thinking about a degree in that, we are going to be probably your best choice if you want an actual bachelor's degree in that. We also have a degree in forensic science, which is probably one of the best ones in the state. And this is because we have the Washington State Archives and Crime Lab right across the street from our campus. So there's a lot of internship opportunities. There's a lot of opportunities to work in the crime lab. A lot of the professors are actually people who work in the crime lab. So it's super hands-on. You really get involved in a lot of different stuff. So it's really important to get that personal experience and the professional experience when you're going to college, because when you start applying for jobs, they're going to ask you what type of professional experience you have and whether you have a year or 2 years. When I went into my master's program, Eastern paid for my master's, so I was working for Eastern. And if I wouldn't have done that and got my master's just on my own and not had that professional experience, I would have had a really hard time getting jobs, because every job I looked at was like 1 year, 2 years professional experience. So it's just important to take advantage of those internship opportunities and things like that, research opportunities with your professors, study abroad, things like that. About half of our students get internship opportunities. And again, you're going to go through the career services to see what those options are. Also, internships are a great way to network. It's also a great way to make sure you're choosing the right degree. If you want to go into something like finance, so you're in accounting or anything like that, and you're like, once you're in that office atmosphere and you're like, this is perfect for me, then great, you know that and you know what you're looking for, and then it's easier for you to network to make sure that you have job opportunities when you're done with your degree. Our top degrees are going to be business, biology, computer science, psychology, and engineering. So these aren't our best degrees. Not that there are worse degrees by any means, but they're just our degrees that have the most students in them. So we started out as a teaching college. So we have a lot of different teaching degrees you can get. But we also have things like sociology, Africana studies, Chicana studies, anthropology, geology, all sorts of different stuff. We have a program that's called Business Analytics, and it's partnered with Microsoft, where they helped us design the program. So you're actually getting trained to work with Microsoft. And then if you graduate with that degree, you have the opportunity to interview with them after. So again, it's like all about that networking and getting that professional experience before you graduate. So when you're a senior, you're not super stressed out on what you're going to do when you're done. This is like one of my favorite pictures. I think it's so cool. Okay. So the community at Eastern is probably one of the reasons why I chose to go there and why I'm still there. Something that I love that I didn't find at the other, at the community college that I went to and other colleges that I visited is the personal relationships and the support system you get from your faculty and staff. The professors want to see you succeed, just like everybody else on campus. We don't want you to come to Eastern and waste your money and not leave without a degree. Like, we want you to be successful. We know what kind of students that we can produce. So does all the businesses around Washington State. They know if your resume says you graduated from Eastern, they know what kind of student you were and what kind of employee you'll be. So we want you to be successful. They'll open up a lot of doors for you. Your class sizes are usually in between like 20 to 25. So the student to faculty ratio is only 23-1. So it makes it really easy to be able to connect with your professors. They're going to know your name. They're going to know when you're not there. They're going to know when you are there. So it's kind of similar to your high school classes where you have the ability to create that relationship. We have 150 different student clubs and organizations. So that's anywhere between our NASA, which is Native American Student Association. Sorry, I had to think about that one. We have Chicano Studies. We have our LGBTQ plus communities. We have multicultural centers. We have Harry Potter Club and Student Union and Black Student Government. And so there's a lot of different options on ways to get involved. It's super important to get involved on campus because we don't just want you coming here, taking classes, and then leaving. Like, we want you to have the college experience. So that's why we have all of these things for you guys to be a part of. It's a good way to meet people that are interested in stuff that you're interested in. It's a good way to get to know people that are maybe getting the same degree that you are, and then you can have study groups and things like that. We also have 90 sports clubs and leagues. So there's a lot of club sports and there's a lot of intramurals that are just a fun way to be able to stay involved and stay active and play sports that you love that you don't want to take super seriously. We are a Division I school for sports. So we have 14 different athletic teams, which is like football. We have girls soccer, volleyball, basketball, track and field, and a few other ones that I can't think of off the top of my head. We also have 25 different sororities and fraternities. So there is Greek life on campus, and there is a lot of opportunities, networking, different stuff that you can really get involved in and being in those sororities and fraternities. So like I said, our community is super tight knit. You're going to see people that you know. You're going to be able to walk around and people are going to say hi to you. Like, we have your back at Eastern. Like, we're here to support you in any possible way that we can. So just be aware of that. We have so many resources to help you on campus to make sure that you're getting everything you need while you're here. Whether you have an IEP and you need a little bit of extra help, or you break your wrist and you're like, how am I supposed to take notes? Or you're just having a rough day and you need somebody to talk to. We have, in one of our buildings on campus, which I really miss, they have chill rooms that are just full of those happy lights and like soothing music. So you can just go and like, just kind of zone out for a second. We all need it. So when our campus opens back up, there's just a lot of those opportunities. And a lot of those things we turned into virtual because we know, our needs and what we need help with don't go away when a pandemic hits. We've obviously all figured this out. We still need support in our studies, and we need study groups, and we need help with financial aid, and we need help with all of these different things. But now they're just virtual. So it's just, there's one thing about college I think that a lot of students need to pay attention to is you have to learn how to ask for help. It's like a human flaw, I think, where we just don't feel comfortable asking for help. We're like, no, we got this, we can do it. I don't need your help kind of thing. But everybody needs help. Like, it just is what it is. Like, so you just have to learn to ask for help, because we can't read your mind. We don't know what you need or what kind of help you need or what resources you might not know about. So you just have to ask. And if we don't know the answer, then somebody else is going to, and we're going to be able to point you in the right direction. We have a lot of people on campus that do a lot of different things. So if you need something, like, we can help you find that, you know. So you just have to you have to start asking for help. So our campus, I hope this video isn't lagging for you, but this is kind of what our campus looks like. Like I said, it's 20 minutes from downtown Spokane, which is super convenient for a lot of people. As a student, you get a bus pass. So that's really nice if you're living on campus or you live in Spokane and you don't want to drive out there, especially in the winter. Then you can take the bus. It's a great time to meet people. It's a great time to just sit there and do homework or just listen to your music and hope nobody talks to you. That's me, like on a plane. I'll be like pretending to read a book, but then also have my headphones in. So then I just put off that vibe. But the campus is beautiful. It's not super big, but it's about a medium-sized campus. So you are able to walk from one side of campus to the other side in about 15 minutes. We have 7 different dorms that you can choose to live in. Some of them are specifically gender neutral floors, co-ed floors, just guys, just girls. So there's a lot of different choices if you're thinking about living on campus. I know a lot of people who live in Spokane are like, why would I pay so much more to live on campus when I can just live at home? I think my biggest regret about college is not living on campus somewhere. And that is because I watched a lot of my friends. So I'm from Sandpoint, Idaho, so northern Idaho. And most of my friends went to U of I. And so I was like, you know, I'm gonna branch out, see what else is out there. So I moved to Washington. And so since I took a gap year, I never really thought to live on campus, but I watched all my friends like go through that real college experience of living on campus and getting to know people and being involved in stuff in the dorms. And I just think it's a really great way to build that feeling of community and making sure that you're feeling somewhere that you belong, that you feel safe, that you know there's people there that support you. And it just really helps you get involved in a lot of things. Plus, you can wake up like 5 minutes before your class and just stroll across campus, compared to me when I have to drive out to campus. I live in West Central, and it takes me at least 30 minutes to get out there. And then I have to find parking. So if I lived on campus, it's just super convenient. Lots more sleep. Okay, so we kind of went through this. This is about how many students we have. So this is, like I said, this is our lookbook. So this is on our website all the time. You can see what the website is. It's just ewu.edu/lookbook, and it has a lot of great information. And you're more than welcome to go look at it. I'm going to open up a new tab and show you what our application looks like this year, since our application has changed. So I don't know, well, no, obviously you probably haven't applied before, but so our application is really straightforward and super simple. You're gonna go here, which is just ewu.edu/apply, and you're gonna choose your application. You're gonna choose a freshman. Regardless of whether you did Running Start or not, you're still gonna be considered an incoming freshman because it's the first time that you are going to college outside of high school. So this is gonna kind of talk to you about how you apply, what we're taking now. So we are now test optional. Test optional means that you still need to turn in something to take place of that test. And that's just for our school. So things you can turn in. If you took AP, IB, or CLEP courses and you were successful, so you passed, then we'll use that. And you don't have to tell us that. Like, we'll look at your transcripts and make that decision. If you took the SAT, send them in to us. If you want to do a letter of recommendation, that's an option too. If you took college in the classroom, we'll look for that. Or if you did Running Start. So those are all things that you can do instead of taking the SAT or submitting those scores. Those items, your test scores, if you submit them or if you choose to do something else, is not going to weigh heavy on our decision to admit you. If you have a 3.0 or above cumulative GPA and you're on track to finish all your CATRs, so your English, your math, natural science, foreign language, all of that kind of stuff, you're automatically admissible into Eastern. So that's always a good feeling, knowing like, okay, cool, like that's where I'm sitting at, awesome, I can go to Eastern if I choose to. If you're sitting below a 3.0, that's okay, you're still admissible into Eastern. You have to have above a 2.0 to be admissible into any four-year public university in the state of Washington. That's state standards. So when you have that below that 3.0, we're going to look maybe more closely at your test scores, or we're going to look at whether you did do the IB, AP or CLEP courses, or if you turn in a letter of recommendation. We're going to take all of those things into consideration. If you want to be an Eagle, we want you here. We want you to be successful though too. So we want to make sure that you're set to come to Eastern and be successful. If you want to maybe start off at a community college, either SCC or SFCC, that is, a great choice for a lot of people. We have an admissions advisor who works specifically with transfer students who's currently virtually in SCC and SFCC once a week, every week during the school year. So it's really easy to work with them to make sure that you're taking the right courses to transfer into Eastern. So that's also an option. We're very big partners with them. So when you're going through the application, you'll actually be able to submit your fee waiver. We'll attach your fee waiver if you have one, upload your transcripts, unofficial transcripts, or test scores all to the application. So then you can just submit it and you don't have to worry about talking to your counselor. But Nicole, Miss Rippey is super good at sending me transcripts and fee waivers and all of those things. So make sure if you have questions about that, you go to her. If you have an SAT, ACT fee waiver, you can use that to waive the application fee. If you qualify for the NACAC one, then we can use that too, which will take away the application fee. Otherwise, your application fee is $60. So when you are a Running Start student, we just need your high school transcripts until you graduate. Once you guys graduate, we will need a final transcript that shows that you graduated from your school. If you're doing Running Start, we need your college transcript. So if you're going to SCC, then you're gonna have to request them from them. If you're going to Eastern as a Running Start student, you don't even have to apply to Eastern. We already have an application in there for you. All you have to do is submit your transcript. So we make it really easy. So these are going to be your steps for applying. I'm going to go ahead and stop talking and answer any questions that you may have. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Okay, if you want to unmute yourself and ask a question, or if you want to put it in the chat, I can stop recording too if you want to show your face and I won't stare at black screens. It's really up to you. Nicole, would you like me to stop recording or keep recording?
Well, I think maybe you keep recording for questions because they're good questions for people to know the answers to.
Deadline to apply, absolutely. So the deadline to apply is, we actually have a running admissions. So priority deadline is going to be February 1st. That's for scholarship application, that's for your financial aid, so your FAFSA, and that's for your admissions application. If you get your application submitted by February 1st, but you're like, I didn't get my transcripts in on time, or I didn't send my test alternative or my test scores in, that's okay. You still met that deadline because you submitted your application. Your documents can come after. If you don't get your application submitted by February, that's okay. You can still apply to us. You want to make sure you get your financial aid in as soon as you can, because that's really the big one that the priority matters a lot to. You want to make sure you're getting as much funds as you can that you are qualified for. But sometimes if you apply after that deadline, there may be not as many opportunities. You don't get the automatic scholarships if you don't get your application in, and the scholarship application is a hard deadline for February 1st. So you definitely want to try to get that in by then. And that's, I mean, you have a pretty good amount of time. Also, I'm helping with applications today, so I can help you submit your application. Okay, how could I handle the population with social anxiety? So what's nice about campus is I totally get it. When I was looking for colleges, the idea of sitting in a class with 500 people scared the crap out of me. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, how do I ask a question? I don't want to ask a dumb question, and I ask interesting questions all the time. Like, I need time to be able to do that. What's nice is we have groups and we have our CAPS, which is our counseling services. So they help you kind of like navigate that feeling of being around a lot of people. Building that community though helps it feel less overwhelming and less big. So there's definitely a lot of groups that you can be a part of that will make you feel more comfortable and know that you're not the only person out there that's dealing with that. There's a lot of students that deal with that stuff, and we have a lot of resources that can help out with things like that. We can't apply until after spring if we're in Running Start, correct? No, you just can't submit your college transcripts until after spring. If you are in Running Start, you can apply right now. I think that's what you're asking, not if you can apply for Running Start. But yeah, if you're Running Start student, you still want to apply right now. Unless you are an Eastern Running Start student, then you don't have to apply because we already have an application. AVID scholarships. We don't necessarily give out any scholarships that are specifically for AVID. Most of our scholarships are going to be those automatic scholarships, unless there's degree specific ones or other specific ones that you qualify for through the scholarship application. I highly, highly, highly recommend going to washboard.org and creating a profile on there to apply for scholarships. No scholarship is too small to accept. Even if it's $100, awesome. That's some school supplies. That's a book. You know, like, it's important stuff. Like, you apply for as many as you possibly can. About half of our students leave completely debt-free because of our low tuition and fees, but also because they go and apply for those scholarships. Applying for Running Start, you would want to go to our Running Start office, which will just be ewu.edu/Running Start. And you have to have a specific GPA. I can't recruit for Running Start, so I can't really tell you all the specifics because I'm an undergraduate admissions advisor, but you can definitely connect with the people at the Running Start office. And I believe Ms. Rippey also knows about Running Start.
Yeah, I do. And Jillian, it's not until junior year. So if you're a freshman or a sophomore, then we have Running Start information nights. Even if you're a current junior and you want to do it next year, senior year, we have informational nights usually in February where you and your family can come and get all that information and learn about the different programs.
Any other questions I can answer? Or anything I didn't cover, Nicole, that you would like me to talk about?
No, I mean, I think you did awesome. Do you guys have any other questions for Mandy? I think you can stop recording, Mandy. Thank you for doing